Travis, what's the latest for you? What are you looking at?
Well, right now we got one of those retardant droppers that's potentially about to make a pass here at a spot where the fire is kicking up. This is Camino del Rey. You are looking directly west into what would be Bonsal. Again, we are on Camino del Rey. There's a long line of palm trees that are on fire here. Crews are working to put them out. If you can scan to the left, you'll see that there are several spot fires within this area just south of the San Luis Rey Training Center. That is where a large effort was underway and still is underway to evacuate some horses. Again, fire crews are saying that the palm trees mixed with these strong gusts are making it very difficult to do their job. Right now you're looking at that shot of that fire right there where that palm tree is, but there are dozens of palm trees that have caught on fire or are still catching on fire and increasing in intensity. Kind of two different smoke going on right now. You have the smoke from the fire that's already been put out, and then the thick black stuff that is coming from active fires. As for air quality, it is very difficult to breathe over here. Every first responder I've seen, and even some of the other folks, are wearing masks or some sort of t-shirt tied around their face. Again, this is burning west, but if you'll take a look south over here, this is the Musa Canyon area. This structure right here caught on fire a little bit ago. They put it out, but they now have fire crews monitoring it. This is an area where fire crews have now concentrated their efforts in addition to this field because they're concerned about the embers from the palm trees catching more structures on fire. You just heard in that press conference, more than 100 homes or, a lot of things have been burned. 20 homes, I believe it was 20 structures. A lot of them probably in the barn here at the San Luis Rey Center. But again, just a massive firefighting effort underway here, and it will likely continue into the evening hours.
Travis, you kind of brushed over the air quality. Kind of give us a better idea. Clearly, you've got your mask and you've got your goggles on, but just clearly give us an idea of what it's like to be out there right now in the middle of it.
Well, it's pretty daunting, kind of looming, ominous, all those sorts of words. I mean, when you have the helicopters passing through, they're clearing out the smoke, but when you are in it, when the winds shift and you are downwind of this thick stuff, you can't see more than probably 50 feet ahead of you. I mean, just take a look down over here. This is Camino del Rey once again. I mean, we intentionally avoided being in that stuff because look at how thick that smoke is. The only people there right now are first responders. You can't really see into that stuff, and you definitely don't want to be in it. Another risk here, by the way, these palm trees, a lot of them have burned. Some of them may break. We got a lot of fires down at the base of them. If this wind picks up, I can't imagine some of these palm trees being able to hold much longer. Wind, their bases have essentially been engulfed and throttled by this fire. And here's another water drop. Again, this is a very active scene. We're trying to stay out of the way here. And yeah, that's that hot spot that we mentioned earlier. It's picking up the, it's really something to see, guys.
Travis, how often are they making these drops? It seems like they have really honed in on this area where you are, which they have not been able to get a handle on.
So for that, we have seen a steady succession of helicopters. I would say every 10 minutes or now we're getting a sky crane drop. That plane that came in earlier, that was the first of that we had seen. But this is that one section from the San Luis River Valley. This is that large section starting from the 15. Again, the helicopters are going to keep coming here, but this smoke is making it very difficult for them to fly in it.
No doubt. And it's a great shot that Adam's got right there of those ground crews trying to do whatever they can to battle. What a fantastic shot as they work in there.
We move to another area of the Rancho Montserrat mobile home community where we've got homes actively on fire right now. We just saw this one a few minutes ago. The roof collapsed in. You can see those bright orange flames that have taken over this entire home. It is fully engulfed. There is not going to be much of anything left in there. And then look at this entire community. This is just complete devastation. This lot right here, a total loss. The lot next to it, a total loss. Everywhere you look over here, it looks like, again, something out of a movie. This looks like a scene. It is completely destroyed, totally charred. If we look off into the distance, we can see some of those fire engines, 3 or 4 of them, and they've got an active fire going on just behind them. You can see those bright orange flames and the black smoke billowing into the sky. And then I want you to look at the sky. Look at that sky. You can't even see the sun anymore. Again, this is just an incredible sight and horrifying as well. Over to the right, Mike, if we look over to the right, we've got more black smoke moving in from the right because there's more active flames.
That whole row went down.
That whole row just went down back here?
Former homes.
Again, this is a very dangerous area at this time. We've got fire crews all around here. There's about 250 homes in this community. I can't even tell you how many homes have burned up right now. I would say at least 20, maybe more. We're not sure at this time. A very, very dangerous situation and heartbreaking as well.
Travis, give us the latest update where you are and what's happening.
Well, you guys, you are looking northeast up Highway 76. This is the whole area that is burning. This is the St. Louis River Valley. This is as close as we're going to get for safety reasons. There are crews up and down 76 trying to put out the fire. This is, of course, part of the fire that started way back there at the 15 and the 76. But if you take a look across the highway, Highway 76, it's already jumped the freeway, and it is now encroaching and threatening this entire shopping center. I believe this is a theater area right here, movie theater. There are crews back here trying their best to put it out, but a whole lot of embers getting kicked up everywhere here, and it's looking pretty hairy, and it's just going to keep getting blown west because of this wind.
Hey, Travis, I know you're moving fast, and I know you can't stay here long. You're right on the 76, and you talk about a movie theater. Do you know the closest exit or on-ramp where you're standing on the 76?
We are standing at the 76 just north of South Mission Road. So this is the center. There's a market here. There's a coffee shop. There's a Jack in the Box, all sorts of things. I mean, this is a major tri-section for this neighborhood, and again, this whole hillside is just getting absolutely toasted, and this whole shopping center right here is under direct threat by this fire. And again, the air quality here is abysmal. If you are not wearing a mask, and if you are not a person with one, it is just downright impossible to breathe. And the gusts are now picking up again. These are these 30-40 mile an hour gusts that the firefighters are saying that are making this thing all the more difficult.
Yeah, South Mission Road, an incredibly busy thoroughfare. As you're mentioning, there's a lot of retail, there's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of businesses there. A lot of companies actually put their businesses near the 76. It's a good location, and you can just literally see them lining the 76 there. That's going to affect a lot of people if that jumped it, and of course it did. We're looking at it over your right shoulder.
Travis, what are firefighters telling you guys? I know that you've been moving throughout the night, so what are they telling you right now? And what are they because you're not that far from homes, too. What are they telling people who live in the area?
Well, that's the issue, and you're seeing it right now. It's the wind. There are homes up along 76. We can't see them because, of course, the wind and the smoke and the flames are making it all too difficult to see. What firefighters are saying about their effort, again, it's these palm trees and what you're seeing, just the wind. It's just really, it's a surreal feeling because you have the heat on one side, but then you also have this cool breeze when it's not catching the flame. So right now, that is a very, very hot breeze, but when it's blowing the other way, it's a cool December, gust. It's a really interesting confluence of temperatures here that, of course, are scaring and threatening a lot of neighbors here.
Yeah, take a look behind me, Kim. It is really flaring up. I was just on about 30 minutes ago down the hill. This is what I'm talking about. Embers flew about a quarter to half mile away over to this hillside and immediately turned it into that lava effect that Steve referred to. It looked like lava, and now it's moving down closer towards Olive Hill Road here. That's where I'm at. I'm just north of the 76 on Olive Hill Road, and this entire hillside keeps flaring up behind us. Now look to your right, my left, up this hill. Adam Hilberry and the crew with Travis Rice were up this hill. They just booked it out of here because you can see all down this hill. It's orange, nothing but orange, flames going up this hillside. Now, if you look over here to the right, I don't know if we can see, there's a neighborhood right here. There's a neighborhood. There are nice homes inside this, on the other side of this wall. I can see over this wall, there's orange on the hillside over there. There's orange on the backside. I know there are firefighters all over the place coming in through here. Now let's come back over here. Adam, can you zoom in on this hillside where it looks like the lava that Steve Atkinson was referring to? Steve, look at that. That is the lava it looks like lava. The entire hillside just burning burning, burning. And the embers, I don't know if it's easy to see. Can you guys see the orange embers floating through the sky?
Yes.
They're floating through the air. Those are the embers, Kim, Steve, those are the embers they talk about can go 5 feet to up to a mile away. That's where this is getting out of control. Those little demon embers can go a mile away. That starts a spot fire, and that spot fire starts another one of these things. So, yeah, it's unbelievable being out here. And the heat, guys, it is amazing how hot it is out here.
How hot it is around that fire.
That's you guys in the studio.
And the winds blowing those embers. And why you showing us that is it's the example that we've all been describing throughout the day, that the winds with those kind of embers just keep this thing moving.
Joe, we know you got to get out. I just want to ask you real quick, in the neighborhood there, is anybody left in that neighborhood? Has everybody been evacuated?
As far as I can tell, this entire neighborhood was evacuated a long time ago. Look behind me here. The row of firefighters just waiting to come up this hill.
Oh gosh.
And
I'm guesstimating about 20 fire trucks in a row.
That's 76.
That's the 76 down there. You're looking down Olive Hill Road, and that's 76 going east and west down there.
That might.
Hey guys, you can really hear the wind starting to kick up back here in Bonsall. This is Olive Hill Drive. Take a look over here. Firefighters just pulled out the dozers. They're definitely trying to strengthen this fire line. This hillside was totally engulfed about an hour or so ago. The flames mostly have receded, but they're definitely trying to make sure that it stays that way. Earlier, around the corner on the 76, I talked to some people who were in a long line of horse trailers. They got the call to try and get out to San Luis Rey Downs, where about 1,000 or so horses stay to train or live up there. Out of those, I spoke to a woman. She said her husband was there trying to get them out. Estimate about 20 of them have perished. But out of the 1,000 or so that were there, most of them have been evacuated, if not all by now. Out here in Bonsall, the fire really moving westward at this point. The wind's still picking up. We can still see some hot spots on the hillsides, but the general movement of the flames is continuing westward. That wind definitely still an issue out here tonight as firefighters do everything that they can to keep control. You can see a long line of engines just waiting over there to get called where they need to go, where the problem areas are. It's still difficult terrain, so they can't get everywhere, especially when those winds are pushing it straight forward. But on the back end, they're using the equipment that they have to make sure that everything is stopped and out as that fire continues to move. Reporting in Bonsall, Matt Boone, 10 News.
Well, right now I'm outside of Station 5 in Bonsall. If you look over here, this hill just moments or about an hour ago was completely lit up. It's amazing what these firefighters have been doing. They're up there right now with flashlights making their way up and down the hill trying to put out this fire. It feels like the winds are starting to pick up here. The flags at the fire station are blowing really hard right now. I'm going to show you some video from earlier tonight. I watched trees burning, threatening homes. Firefighters were tirelessly working to put those fires out to protect those homes. One woman I talked to was watching from a distance in tears. She's lived there for 23 years and is terrified of losing her home. One man I talked to, I ran into him just near flames. He had just been driving out of them, saying he was on his own trying to save animals. He says they're obviously in distress and that it's been hard to get vehicles to some of them and rescue them.
I do it for the love of the animals. I'm just a volunteer. I don't work with any group or anything. I do this on my own, and I have a few friends that help me out and local neighbors. I was on the Rice Canyon fire back in '07 helping them move their animals out.
Very erratic winds, very erratic fire activity, for this, especially for this time of year. But with the wind events, it's a very tough fire to fight.
That firefighter you just heard from was with Miramar Fire Department. He says even if your home isn't threatened right now, you have to prepare like you're going to have to evacuate.